I have two of the top action cameras out right now, the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 and the GoPro HERO 13. So how will these cameras stack up to each other head to head? That is what we're going to find out. I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of the image quality, the audio quality, and go over some unique features. Insta360 sent me the Ace Pro 2 to test out. I purchased the GoPro HERO 13 myself. There's links in the description to both of these cameras. If you decide to purchase either one of them, I appreciate it if you use my affiliate link. It helps support the channel. Thanks. I believe the saying goes that audio is 50% of the movie-going experience. So it doesn't matter how crisp the image quality is, how vibrant the color is. If the audio is bad, the video is bad, and you're not going to want to watch it. I've set the audio on the GoPro HERO 13 to wind reduction auto and the audio tuning to vocal, and that should enhance my voice while still maintaining the ambient noise in the background. I've set the audio on the Ace Pro 2 to wind reduction also, but the Ace Pro 2 has an additional feature here. Let me make sure it's going to be in focus. This right here is a wind guard, so I'm interested to see what the audio quality is going to be like between the GoPro with only its audio reduction mode and the Ace Pro 2 with the wind guard. I've done a lot of testing with the wind guard. It makes a huge difference. You can buy some form of wind guard for the GoPro HERO 13, but that's an additional accessory that you're going to have to purchase. And based on my experience, they don't work super well. Generally, the wind muff is kept on by some form of adhesive. It kind of sticks on the front there, and getting it to stay on there is kind of hit and miss. It's not built into the camera like it is on the Ace Pro 2. I'm going to set up both of these cameras on my bike and go for a ride this morning. I'm going to use the internal microphones as much as possible, and let's see how these cameras compare. I have both of the cameras set up for the side-by-side comparison. One of the features I like about the Ace Pro 2 is this flip-up screen, so I can easily look down and clearly see the screen, something that I'm not able to do with the GoPro. Both cameras are set to 4K 60. HDR is activated on both cameras. The field of view on the Ace Pro 2 is the mega view, and the field of view on the GoPro is the wide view. HDR increases the dynamic range of the footage and evens out the exposure, so you should be able to see more detail in the shadows and the highlights and better color. I'm gonna jump in and do a voiceover for this next section. I think you got a pretty good idea how each camera sounded. When I was recording that, I had no idea how rickety and clinkety the gears on that old bike sounded, and I don't want to put us through any more of that. Both cameras allow you to overlay telemetry data like speed and elevation using their apps. The Insta360 app is pretty comprehensive and easy to use. GoPro's app isn't nearly as advanced and doesn't give you as many options. I'll show you how to overlay the data later on in the video when I get back to the Jeep. For the GoPro, you have to make sure that GPS is turned on before you get started. The Ace Pro 2 uses the Insta360 app. You go into the settings menu, select GPS activity stats, and turn that on, and it uses the data in your phone. You can also use third-party apps like your Apple Watch or Garmin. The sun finally came out from behind the clouds. Now we got perfect conditions to test both of these cameras out. I don't really mountain bike all that much. I'm trying to get into it now this summer, and I'm not gonna front, it is killing me. So I think I found a place to take a break, and we'll talk about the third most important thing in my opinion when it comes to cameras: the battery life. With the Ace Pro 2, you can get up to about 180 minutes of battery life depending on the settings. If you want to get the most out of the battery, put it into endurance mode. In endurance mode, it turns off certain settings and features that use up more battery. It also supports PD fast charging, so you can charge the battery to 80% in about 18 minutes, and you can fully charge the battery in 47 minutes. So overall, the battery performs well, and the ability to fast charge is a huge plus. So I've been out here for a few hours this morning, and let's see where we are as far as the battery. The battery on the Ace Pro 2 is at 62%. That isn't bad. Now let's check out the GoPro Hero 13. The GoPro battery is at 40%, which isn't surprising. That is my biggest problem with GoPro, is that no matter what changes they make to the battery or improvements that they claim, the battery always performs worse than any of the other cameras that I test. The Ace Pro 2, the Go 3S, the Osmo Action 5 or 4, the GoPro always struggles when it comes to battery. And matter of fact, it does this thing where I fully charged it to 100% last night to prepare for this, and when I turned it on this morning, it was like at 90 or something like that. And I've gone through and adjusted settings and everything else you can think of, but the battery just drains and drains and drains and doesn't last nearly as long as the others do. So they say you can get 2.5 hours of battery life with the proper settings, but I've never been able to come close to that. Everybody can have their own opinion as far as image quality and what they prefer and what they like, but when it comes to battery, the Ace Pro 2 is far better than the GoPro Hero 13. Another feature that the Ace Pro 2 has, I don't think I've seen in any other action camera, is the ability to reverse charge. So let's say you're out on your bike ride or hike, whatever you're doing, you know, far away from everything, and your phone is about to die. You could use the Ace Pro 2 battery to charge your phone. I'll show that to you right now. I attached the Ace Pro 2 to my iPhone using a Type-C to Type-C cable, and it immediately went into USB mode. And the option here on the left-hand side is reverse charging mode. I tap that, and it gives you the option of saying, well, reverse charging will stop when the battery gets to 20%, and you can adjust that, and you can see my phone is charging. That's a nice feature to have. The more ways to be able to charge your devices, the better. The next feature I want to show you on the Ace Pro 2 is called Clarity Zoom, and it is similar to a digital zoom that you would see on an action camera, but better because you don't lose any image quality, because the Ace Pro 2 has an 8K sensor, so you're able to get that double zoom without losing any of that detail or clarity. And we're going to compare that to the standard zoom on the GoPro Hero 13. So I'm looking at a bush right now. It's probably 25-ish feet away. I did adjust the settings on both of the cameras. I'm still shooting in 4K 60, but I changed the field of view to linear to get rid of some of that distortion, and I turned off HDR in both of the cameras. Now I'm gonna double tap on the Ace Pro 2 to get the clarity zoom, and I will do a digital zoom on the Hero 13 so you can compare the image quality. Here is the GoPro Hero 13 at its maximum zoom of 1.4. I'm gonna do another test here, and I'm gonna stay right here. We'll use the same bush for an example, but I might get a little bit closer, and we're gonna test out the resolution. The Ace Pro 2 can shoot in 8K. The max resolution on the GoPro Hero 13 is 5.3K. The higher resolution, the more you should be able to zoom in and keep the image quality. So I'm going to record this bush at 8K on the Ace Pro 2 and 5.3 on the GoPro Hero 13, and then I'll do a zoom in and we'll compare the difference to see if they maintain their clarity and detail. There are a few things to keep in mind if you decide to record in 8K with the Ace Pro 2. 8K generates a lot of heat, so you don't want to just leave it on recording 8K for long periods of time, or it can cause the camera to shut down due to excessive heat. Generally, if you're going to record in 8K, I suggest using the quick capture mode. In that mode, when you push the shutter button, the camera automatically starts recording. You record your short clip, push the shutter button again and it turns the camera off. So that way you're recording in short clips, you're keeping the camera from overheating. Also, 8K is going to use a lot of battery, so if you're concerned about maintaining your battery, you don't want to record in 8K a lot. And 8K isn't really meant for like action shots, so mountain biking, snowboarding, anything like that. So you're looking for vlogging, walking, looking at stationary things if you're going to be shooting in 8K. And it's always best to have a nice sunny day like we have here. I'm feeling much better after that rest. I'm going to jump back on my bike, head back down to the Jeep. I believe it's mostly downhill, which is my favorite way to ride a bike. And we're going to go over some more features and some more comparisons. You're not going to want to miss the low light comparison between these two cameras. I bet you we are going to see a dramatic difference between the cameras. To see which one does better, continue watching the video. I made it back earlier. I promised that I'd show you the overlay features for the two cameras. It's super easy to do. I can do it right out here at my truck. I opened the clip of the video where I saved the GPS data. So I'll go over here to edit, and down here in the bottom there's an icon that says stats. Just open that and it opened up the stats here. You can see that's my slope, my elevation, that's going to be my speed, and the elevation change. And this template is called BMW Motorrad, but there's a ton to choose from. You can pick energy, where it changes the format, rhythm, speed, classic. So you have a lot of options to choose from. You can go in here and just select the one you want: acceleration, date, distance, pace, route. You can see here I was going a blazing 7 kilometers an hour. So super easy to do. Now I'll show you the process on the GoPro. The GoPro uses the GPS inside the camera, so all of the clips should have the GPS data. One thing I will say is that with the Insta360 app, I was able to access all the files on my phone within a matter of seconds, to be able to view and to scroll through them. It took, I think I'm about 5 minutes in so far, and it's still not done transferring all the files, but I at least found the one I think I took before for comparison purposes. So the Insta360 app is far better than GoPro's quick app. If you want to overlay the data using the GoPro app, you go to edit, and then here it says stickers over here on the far right hand side. And then for a sticker, there's speedometer, terrain, path, altitude, g-force. So we're going to put the speedometer on there, and there it is in the upper left hand corner. And say we also want to do altitude. One thing that's weird, see if when I push altitude, instead of putting altitude like maybe over here on the other side, it put it right on top of the speedometer. So you have to hit altitude again, and then it moves it over to that side, which is unusual. So then you pick whatever one you want, path, tap it, and that moves it down to the lower right hand corner. It's easy to overlay the data using either camera. I got my miles per hour, the elevation. Insta360 is easier, but GoPro isn't horrible. Both cameras can be used as dash cams, but how you set them up is different. The Ace Pro 2 actually has a dash cam mode called road mode. And when you're in road mode, you can adjust the loop space. So right now it will record 23.8 gigabytes before starting to record over itself. If you tap that, you can adjust it. So 23.8 gigabytes is about 31 minutes based on the settings where I have it now, which is 4K 30 and HDR on. But say you want to go longer than that, based on the size of your memory card, you can go 100 gigs before it records over itself, and that'll get you about 2 hours and 11 minutes. The highest resolution you can do is 4K, and the highest frame rate is 30 in 4K, but If you're using the dash cam, let's say just for insurance purposes, you don't need 4K. You can go to 1080p and you can record in 60 frames per second if you want. But dropping down to 1080p gives you a lot of record time before it records over it. So you can set that to however you like. And it also has a feature here called time watermark, and that is on, and that's going to put a timestamp on the video so you know what time some event happened. The GoPro 13 doesn't have a specific dash cam mode, but you can go in and create one. It's not too hard, but not as convenient. To create a custom mode for a dash cam, create a new preset, and you want to name it looping. After you name it, you want to go down to looping, and there it has a standard profile. So it sets you at 1080p, 60 frames. If you want to go to 4K, the max you can go is 30 frames, and you can set the interval duration. So on the Ace Pro 2, it was by storage. Here you do by minutes. Here it's going to loop every 5 minutes, but you can go up 20 every hour and 20 minutes or max. You can set that however you want. The GoPro doesn't have the time watermark feature that the Ace Pro 2 does. As I head home, we'll compare the dash cam footage, and tonight we'll do the low light comparison. Oh, I want to jump back in real quick, give you a dash cam pro tip. If you do keep the battery inside the camera, which can lead to overheating, one way is to fight that is to turn on the vent that faces your windshield, and that air blowing up out of the vent over the cameras helps to keep it cool. Because right now it's like 61 degrees, but on my dash it is warm, and I bet these cameras are really starting to warm up. So you click on that extra airflow, and that kind of blows the heat away and keeps them from overheating. Okay, now we're gonna head out and continue on with the testing. It is now officially dark out, and we're gonna see how well each of these cameras does in low light. I'm expecting the Ace Pro 2 to do quite a bit better. It has a larger sensor. It has dual processors. The Ace Pro 2 has an AI chip and a Pro Imaging processing chip. AI chip and the Pro Imaging chip work together to enhance the brightness of the image and reduce the noise. A common issue with the GoPro using it in low light is this jitter and blur that happens. And it's common with most action cameras because of electronic image stabilization, but the Ace Pro 2 has a setting to take care of that. I'm curious to see how prevalent it is as I'm walking down here. When comparing the images, there should be a distinct difference between the Ace Pro 2 and the GoPro HERO 13. Because of the enhanced brightness, you should be able to see more detail in the shadows, better highlights. I've spent all day testing out both these cameras in a variety of situations. Let me know in the comments which one you like the best. I've only talked about a few of the features of the Ace Pro 2. To learn even more about it, check out this video.